How do you win your next bidding war? Yes, I know it sucks out there. It's hard out there. It's hard to compete, and I feel your pain. I feel you're disappointed, and sometimes you just want to give up pursuing your real estate. Being a realtor in Toronto for more than a decade, I'm going to share with you some tips how to win your next bidding war. Tip number one, always put your best foot forward. Always put your best foot forward. We all train that we must start at a lower price and we should gradually adjust to our position as the negotiation progress. In a hot market like Toronto, where you see sometimes more than 50 people competing in a bidding war, this is irrelevant. Why? Because in a blind auctions, yes, in Toronto, we practice blind auctions. You don't know what your competitor have. They could have more money than you, willing to knock you out of your position. So by chipping in, and chipping in, you're giving them an opportunity to catch up onto you. So put a one-time offer, and if you don't get it, walk away and remove your emotion out of it. And also, ask yourself this question. Let's say I come up with a number. Let's say that number is $500,000. And ask yourself this question. If your competitor put an offer on this property and they got it for $500,000, would you be okay with it or would you be disappointed? If your answer is you're going to be disappointed, then you ask yourself another question and you move up one more ladder and say, if my competitor put an offer and they got this property for $510,000 and they got the property, would you be okay with it or would you be disappointed? If your answer is still that you're going to be disappointed, then you ask yourself another question and say, and move up with one more ladder and say that if your competitor got this property or put an offer on this property for $550,000 and they got it, would you be okay with it or would you be disappointed? If you answer then is you're gonna be okay with it, then that's how you know that that is your true ceiling and you should stop at that. Number two, remove all your conditions. If you're worried about your financing or condition thereof, don't bother putting in an offer in a bidding war. Why? Because you won't win. You are only helping the seller to look good by putting more numbers on their registered offer. You see, in psychology, there are a thing called law of scarcity, the law of missing out. When there is more buyers, most of the time, they tend to bid more higher because of their own emotions. You see, there's a saying that when emotions are high, intelligence is low. So always remember that. Tip number three, when you are in the bidding war, do not get hung up in a comparables or comps. They are just a guide. They're just there to guide you. And they don't mean anything in a bidding war. What sold last month may not necessarily mean that it will sold this month or the history will repeat itself. You see, history does not always mean that it will repeat itself. So set aside a ceiling, a price that you are willing to walk away from, and use your intelligence and not your emotions when you are making a decision. I will say it again. When emotions are high, intelligence is low. Lastly, don't listen to gossips. Follow your realtor's advice. They are there to help you. If you don't trust your realtor's advice, you shouldn't be using them in the first place. Always trust your instinct and verify it. Most of the time, they are correct. I hope you like this video and good luck on your next bidding war. Take care.